Just a lot. It's a lot. Been super busy, all in. Routes are heavy, days are longer. You're loading up your truck when it's dark. You're finishing your route when it's dark. All it is liability. This business is strictly based off of liability and risk and contract. All right, today is, I'm looking at Saturday, December 13th, 7:09 a.m. Ooh, what do we got? What do we got? Business updates. First off, if you're new here, my name is Robert Rayner. I left my full-time mechanical engineering job to go and scale my final mile white glove trucking business. I ended up scaling to 20 trucks and going back and rebuilding the business from scratch with better systems, better processes, and documenting the entire thing along the way. Latest updates. This is my last video. Just a lot. It's a lot. Been super busy. I haven't found any guys who, it's also peak season. So with peak season, anybody in this industry knows it is all in. Routes are heavy, days are longer. You're loading up your truck when it's dark. You're finishing your route when it's dark. Plain and simple. And so we've transitioned from Lowe's XDT to Lowe's Back in Store to also the Wayfair account. And the Wayfair is a sweet one. It's very easy work, low risk, but a high stop count and has potential for high mileage. I have not found any guys or recruited any guys yet who have previous Wayfair experience. Like I said, this is like this is trade work. Unless you've done this exact work before, you don't just come in knowing how to do it. So I'm having to train guys to show them how to do the stuff. But to me, it is the long-term investment. It's a long-term investment for me to hop in the truck and train guys. Obviously, it's not the best use of my time, but that's what the business demands right now. And so with that, I am getting roped into the truck, 12-hour, 14-hour days. From the moment you wake up to the moment you get home, it's basically a race against time. Wayfair has some of the tightest time windows I've seen out of any other final mile white glove account. Like some drop-off items, they have it all mapped out. Are they mapping out? Are they accounting for, stopping and getting diesel? Are they mapping out stopping and grabbing something to eat for lunch? Honestly, I don't even think so. That's just how tight the windows are. But some of these routes are like a guaranteed 11 to 12-hour day. We had one the other day, it was 9 stops, 404 miles. And it was like a guaranteed 11, 12-hour day, no matter how fast you, don't let you have a hook. Don't let you have a hiccup. You have a hiccup, it's over with. But so that's what I've been doing, and times are so tight. I don't even I barely have time to record and get footage because the time windows are so tight. So you have to be off the dock by a certain time, and then assuming you're off the dock by that time, you have to be at your first stop by a certain time, and then depending on the delivery, because there is a lot of drop off, but there's also some white glove assembly. Those drop offs from when you pull up to the customer's home to when they expect those wheels to be rolling again, head to your next stop. Some of those stops are 6 minutes. Don't let it be some big and bulky item. It could take a few minutes just to get it off the truck. And so that's the deal with the Wayfair account. But again, it's good money, decent money, and it's been peak season, so the trucks have been packed even more than usual, I'm pretty sure. But that's what we got going on now. So we got 2 trucks rolling, floating between 1 and 2. I had that driver that had that accident. He is no longer with us. And that one was an interesting one. Like I said, he took full accountability and actually going through now where he thinks he's somehow going to still manage to get his full 1 week's paycheck after all the damages and losses he's had. We're talking about lost dolly, one of those red appliance dollies. It's a few $100s on top of a truck accident. You got into a truck accident. Not to mention he had product that wasn't returned to the store, so now Lowe's is putting in claims. Like so much loss so fast, but then we have a contract. He is a contractor, not an employee. And somehow is still managing to think that he deserves his full paycheck when I've communicated everything up front. Everything's communicated up front. There are no surprises with me. I think it's just guys, for whatever reason, when they have losses and have claims, they think it's a different story, even though I've already told you what it's going to be and how it's going to work and how it's going to play out. And I have a contract. If you don't have a contract set up with all of your guys, ironing out these things in advance, you need to get that right now if you're already in this bottom mile white glove business. All it is liability. This business is strictly based off of liability and risk and contract. Lowe's pushes liability to logistics company, retailer pushes liability over to logistics company. Logistics company pushes liability over to trucking business. And trucking business does assume a lot of liability for things, but ultimately it does come down to the guys, the contractors who are working in the trucks as well. And that's why people need to know what they're signing up for. I know what I'm signing up for. And then with my contract, I let guys know what they're signing up for when they're employed by me. And it's as black and white as it gets. It's all on paper. It's literally black and white. But going through that, I also just let go of my old assistants just because I'm doing things different. I am doing things different, and the sense of urgency for us to go days, one, without any updates or without any, forward motion and movement, it's just not acceptable for me anymore. And so I'm transitioning now to a new assistant and getting them up to speed on all the systems and processes that help manage the back end and keep things rolling. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been very, very busy, of course, running in the truck. It's made it hard to do some of the things out of the truck, but catching up on some stuff the last few days, because I did end up being able to get out the truck and catch up on stuff. And so now just all kind of stuff. I got to track down where this dolly was left. I got to check some stop counts. I'm headed to the Lowe's XDT right now to get this stuff sorted out and figured out. But also with the long days in the work, I'm at the point now too where I'm figuring out how to structure pay. Because I had a pay set up in mind, which for some of my accounts, it was between Lowe's account's very different. The Lowe's account pays per stop, and they're not honoring a minimum. For whatever reason, they're not honoring a minimum. And depending on your 3PL, you can try to negotiate with them, but some of them are just going to tell you to kick rocks because they know the next person will come right behind you and take the little pay. But either way, figuring out pay structure. So I'm restructuring the pay for the Lowe's account just because the stop counts is just not as high as it is supposed to be every day. We're confirming 14 stops, when the store canceled 2. One of them be a co-mingle. Next thing you know, we only got 10 stops, expecting to get paid for 14. Getting every stop done on our route, but because there's only 7 stops, we're only getting paid for 7 stops. So dealing with stuff like that, but then I have to figure out and my job is to figure out how to make it sweet for my guys. Obviously, you see what the contract is. You can only control so much. So control your controllables. You cannot control the stop count, the customer's not at home, the store canceling stuff, or stuff getting on the box truck that's supposed to be on a flatbed. Can't control those things. What you can't control is the pay. So that's what I did yesterday. I'm spending some time crunching the numbers and seeing what I could do for my guys to make it a little bit sweeter for them. And now I'm also on the Wayfair account doing the same thing because retention is going to be a big one for me. At first, I had a $50 a week bonus set up so that guys could get surveys. So if you hit a certain amount of surveys every single week, you would get an extra $50 to your check. And this would, of course, promote the business, make the business look good, but put it in language that the guys will understand so it'll make them strive for it. But now I've noticed the Wayfair doc is pretty competitive and the best teams are going to run, period. So that makes me think, why should my incentive even be based off of KPIs like surveys and on time and stuff when the guys just won't work? The incentive is working, period. And so now it's making me think, I did have call outs. I did deal with some calls this week. I had about 3 to 4 call outs actually this week, all different guys. And so now I'm thinking about where are my problems actually lying at? My problems are lying in attendance. So what do I need to do to combat that? And I'm thinking about either making a bonus of, obviously guys aren't working who are calling out. That's obvious. But now I'm thinking about two, incentivizing working straight 5 days or 6 days with no call out. Or at least working every day you're scheduled. Because if you let me know, of course, in advance, I'll get you off. I won't schedule you to work. But yeah, just stuff I'm thinking about as I go to business again. I'm also thinking about a pay. I think about a pay that I would like to have for my guys that I could brag about. I want to have a pay for my teams that I can brag about. That's honestly my thinking right now. And then same thing too. What pay would make me excited to come into work? What pay would make me excited to come into work? Is honestly what I'm thinking about right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it right now. That's the latest on the business. Right now, it's just coming down to dealing with that final mile chaos. The call outs, the 3PLs, shorting checks, short settlements, the long days, long nights. But this is what it looks like. And of course, anybody going through right now, I can tell you, as long as you have an end goal in mind, stay focused on it. I know this for me is temporary. There will be a point where all these trucks are running while I am at home managing the business, figuring out how to find ways to grow and scale it. I even got some guys who are committed. Said, dude, I want to be your manager. Let me know up front that they want to be management material and that they want to see this business grow. When you have guys who are telling you and giving you a vision, potential vision for your business, those are guys you definitely want to keep close. Because especially when the vision lines up, when he started telling me you can train me and I can train your guys, I didn't even say it to him. He told me this. I'm already thinking it. Whether he knows that or not, I was already thinking that. That's the only reason I am in the truck right now. So I have one particular guy who is going to be a key player. But like I said, we'll just see where things go. It's only been a few days with him. I'm still getting to know him, still getting to know me. But got good feelings. I'm optimistic about it. But to head to the XDT now, see if I can get this stuff ordered out with Spirit, and that'll be it. So it took way longer than I thought it would, but I understand that they have jobs to do too. So I do sit there and wait patiently, but all I needed to see and get was the customer numbers so I can go retrieve this dolly that the guys left. And I also needed to see how many stops they delivered yesterday, because with this account paying per stop, and I pay my guys per stop, but I pay my guys a week ahead of what the contract actually pays. So of course, all final mile white glove contracts, it's a 3 week, basically a 3 week hold, 3 week gap from when you run your first route to when you get paid. But for my guys, I only do 2 weeks. So any day they worked this week, they get paid next Friday. I won't see the money until the following Friday. And the settlement reports from Spirit don't come quick enough in time for me to be able to check it and see what I'm getting paid for. So I track everything every single day. And this is just something that's added that I do for my guys and for my business, because I know I wouldn't want to go no 3 weeks waiting to get paid. So of course, I want to put my guys through it. And so basically all I needed is basically just tracking and stuff. But this is important too, why it's important to stay on top of your stuff. Because say I pay my guys out for 13 stops and they only get 12 done, we only get paid for 12. Now I'm out of money. But that's really it for today. Another day of catching up. And just all kind of movement. The final mile white glove chaos. I got guys who don't like the inconsistency of the per stop pay, dealing with the lows back of the stores. So now I'm having to move him to the Wayfair account where it is consistent pay and predictable. But now it leaves me a helper short over here with Spirit on the Lowe's account and just shuffling. It's a constant shuffle. And the key to this business, though, it was interesting having a conversation with the Spirit Logistics representative in there, because he himself, now he's working for Spirit, but has been on the other side of it, running his own trucks, doing his own business. And he talks about just all the stuff he sees now being on the other side, and also the stuff he sees dealing with the delivery teams and all the contractors. But it is something. This industry is something. All I gotta say is know what you're getting yourself into before you jump in. It is a business and it is an opportunity. Margins are tight and it is high risk. I mean, it's trucking, but it is low barrier to entry. I figured out, of course, how to do it, manage it, grow it, and scale it. And my thing, again, what I'm so big on right now is what am I doing different this time around? The first time around, obviously, was very successful, and I enjoyed doing it, but I also burned myself out along the way. And I'm a true believer in if you want to see a difference in your life, a difference in your business, a difference in your work, or whatever it is that you're doing, you cannot think that doing the same things are going to get you different results. I'm a firm believer in that one. And so that's why, again, as I'm going to my business this time around, just going at it very differently. I might not know exactly what to do, but I know I'm not going to be doing things the exact same way that I did the last time around. And so that's why I'm even studying the last 6 years of myself in this business and what I've done and what those things led to. And as they show up now, anything that shows up now that triggers me and brings up basically how things were going in the past that I don't want to see now, that's when I study it. I break it down. What did I do that led to this, or what could I do different? And again, the same things I'm doing and learning right now, I will apply to every business I do going forward. And that's just a part of the journey and why it's what makes entrepreneurship so much fun. But got that figured out. So now I got some errands to run for the day and just going at it. We got the holidays around the corner. It was pretty cool to have a truck running the other day while I was headed to my baby shower up in Ohio. It's just neat. It's always neat to see stuff like that because it's a reminder that this stuff can be done. You can have trucks running while you go and live your life. It's so doable. Getting to that point, yes, obviously I'm in startup phase right now, so it's borderline, startup phase, survival mode. But it is doable, and that was just a reminder of having that one truck run while I was away. But that's it for this video. Of course, if you're new here, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to check the links in the description to get your Find My White Glove business started and grow it, scale it, and get it systemized. Peace.